Hello, assalamu alaikum and hi, and thank you for tuning into the Dean's channel where we talk about anything and everything possible. And for today's episode, we are going to talk about Mulan. Okay, I believe that most of you may have seen Mulan in 1998, the animated version. And now they are releasing the live action one in 2020, and I have watched both of them and I found them very distinguished and different in so many ways, and we are going to go through all of the differences between Mulan 1998 and Mulan 2020. Shall we get started? So let's go through the differences. Number one, okay, Mulan's boy name in 1998 was Ping, but in 2020, her name is now Huajun. Ping and Huajun, so different, okay? I'm not sure what's different, what's with the changes. Disney will let us know maybe in the future. I'm not sure about that either. And number two, it's not musical, so yeah, too bad. There is nobody singing. Even actually hear a reflection song being played throughout the movie. So maybe the instrumental, but not the Christina Aguilera's voice. So if you expect for that, don't, because you won't get it. Okay, next one is the cricket. Okay, we actually have an actual cricket in 1998, but this time around we don't have that cricket. We do have cricket though, but it's actually a person. Okay, a person, a fellow, a comrade of Mulan when she was at the camp learning to become a soldier. Oh dear. Next then we have the grandmother. Okay, in the actual 1998 we have grandmother, but this time around we don't have grandmother, we have younger sister to Mulan, which is actually quite bad because to me we need to have the grandmother because the grandmother link Mulan with the ancestor, where we have the character such as Wu Shu, which we don't have this time around. If you are still wondering what is Wu Shu, no, Mushu. Mushu is actually the tiny dragon that Mulan thought as a lizard at first. Okay, we had that in 1998 Mulan, but not in 2020. So again, do not expect that. Next one is Li Shang. In the actual 1998, Li Shang is actually the commander officer, okay, to Mulan. But in 2020, Li Shang is not the commander officer. Li Shang is more like Mulan's fellow, Mulan's classmate, okay, where they actually together to learn to become the Imperial Army. Okay, that's actually major changes, Disney. Why you should at least explain to us why you have all this major name change and this and that character change. Well, who am I to judge? Next one is this is the part that I don't really see the significance of it. Okay, the witch. We don't have witch really. There is no witch characters or the mentioning of witch in the actual 1998 1998 animation of Mulan. But we do have a bird, and the bird name is Shan Yu, and Shan Yu is actually a falcon, just like what the witch transformed into in 2020 live action. So yeah, Disney, why? Maybe, just maybe, Disney want to have an element of magic to it. That's why she wanted to have that person as a witch, and maybe this witch also serve the idea of somebody being outcasted, and then Mulan should not be having any hopes of breaking through the norm and etc. Maybe that's just my point of view, because I could really see that Mulan 2020 really try to put up the idea of women empowerment. Okay, even though Mulan already has it in 1998, but Mulan 2020 tried to increase the volume of the message even more. That's what I thought. Okay, next one is that Li Shang doesn't have much scene to begin with, as compared to the cartoon version. Okay, where we get to see more of Li Shang, but not in the 2020. Perhaps the focus is really more on Mulan. Okay, next one is the shower scene. Okay, I'm not a pervert, but I'm going to tell you that in 1998, Mulan had a shower at night, accompanied by the cricket and the horse, and also Mushu, of course. And suddenly she was accompanied by all these three comrades. The names are Lien, Chong, Ching Piu, and Yao. Okay, but in the 2020 live action, she was accidentally being accompanied by Li Shang himself. Maybe Disney tried to try to inject an element of romanticism. Okay, I have this whole notes really, okay, because I've watched two of them back to back just so that I can do this review to you guys. And yeah, the character of Mulan herself. Okay, in the cartoon, Mulan is very funny, like sloppy and clumsy and smart. But in Mulan 2020, Mulan is being portrayed as somebody so serious, less comical, and I would say less fun to begin with. But yeah, that's the contradiction between these two characters in these two installments. But again, maybe they want to portray the idea of women is strong physically, mentally, spiritually, and all that. Okay, speaking of spiritually, okay, there is no mentioning of Chi in cartoon, but we have Chi in 2020 live action. Okay, I'm not sure why they really want to focus on Chi, because it's not really, because Mulan is not the superhero. She's just somebody who is strong-willed. And also, I noticed that in the cartoon, the general died. The general happened to be Li Shang's father, and he died. And in the 2020, Li Shang and the general doesn't have any relations at all, and he did not die. The general, I mean. So he survived until the very end. And also, it was Mushu who tricked everybody into the battlefield at first. Okay, but in 2020 they were actually there to get head start in the war. Okay, and they still remain the same idea where Mulan started the avalanche to destroy the enemies. Okay, they had this as well, and that avalanche caused Mulan was injured and she was wounded, and that was then her secret was revealed. Li Shang found out that she's actually a girl. He's not happy about it, and he chased her away, asking her to leave the army, and etc. etc. But in 2020, it was not. There was no injury happened to Mulan, and she actually came to confess herself to the whole crew. Okay, and she was chased not by Li Shang, but by the general himself. Okay, we could see that even in the opening of the movie itself, for live action I mean, we get the idea that Mulan has been strong ever since she's young. Okay, and then she gets stronger and stronger, and somehow she was asked to tone herself down and keep everything in, don't show to people, keep the chi and this and that. But such things did not happen in 1998 animation. In 1998 animation, Mulan and her friends, the three stooges I mean, they gave way to Li Shang so that Li Shang can go and help the emperor. How? They disguise themselves as ladies and somehow outsmart all the other enemies. Okay, it didn't happen in the actual movie. In the actual movie, it was actually those guys who opened up the path to Mulan so that Mulan can go and confront the bad guy, Han. Okay, Han. It was actually the emperor himself who gifted the sword and the crest. Not the crest, we call it the crest of the emperor to Mulan in the animated series 1998. But in 2020 live action, Mulan actually received her sword once she returned back to her hometown. Okay, and of course, 1998 had a scene where Li Shang actually went to follow Mulan to her hometown and passed the helmet and this and that. But we didn't have that scene in 2020 live action. The closest scene that we had between these two is when Mulan said goodbye to the boy. Okay, so I'm really hoping that there will be number 2, Mulan number 2, because we do have Mulan number 2 for the cartoon, for the animated series, a year or 2 years after the first one. I can't remember. So yeah, I'm going to give this movie 7 to an 8 because I think that the message is well conveyed. I kind of like it, not love it that much, but like it. If I were to rank between all the other live action, I would place it number 4th or number 5th, right after Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, Cinderella, and even Maleficent. Okay, yeah, so I think that would be all for now. Thank you for tuning into the Dean's channel. More content coming your way, and do support me and show me some love. Bye.